Hey everyone, it's MVPando. If you have been watching me for at least ever since my old videos in 2023, early and late 2023, you would know how to draw a lot. That was most of my videos ever since my old Nintendo Switch SD card broke, so I couldn't really do any videos. Really, the Fortnite and Smash Ultimate videos I did. So I went to talking and art videos. I mainly would make videos on topic of Sonic and also draw them. Even in my older game videos, I would draw my character talking as me as my avatar, and with no name. And ever since I've been learning how to draw better, watching videos and tutorials of how to draw styles, mainly Sonic as you can see from my channel. And from one of my videos, I drew the sonicriders art style with many characters, one of my favorite videos. And I drew them because of those characters, without thinking of doing a video, because back then I wasn't really. Well, still not popular, but didn't have that much traction back then. Had like 200 or 100 some subscribers back then. And now we're in 2024, and now I'm almost at 400 subs depending on when this video comes out. People always like to see my art, whether it be through YouTube, Twitter, or Discord. And I've decided to make a tutorial of how I draw the styles. Mainly for this video, it's going to be the writer's art style. I'm going to go into detail on how I draw the characters, what you'll need for the tutorial. Before I start, make sure to subscribe to my channel, since I'll be making more tutorials like this, because many people wanted me to do these, so I'll make sure to do that if you subscribe and so you can see it. And let's start the video. Now here's what you'll need for the tutorial. 1. You'll need a drawing pad or tablet. 2. Computer or any device that can run art programs. And 3. Art programs such as Clip Studio or IBS or whatever you can use that has layers and clipping that you can use for the art, because that'll be important later. For me, I personally use clipstudiopaint because it's one of the best art programs out there. I use it all the time to draw my stuff, but I've seen many artists use IBS and their artwork looks really good. But for me, I use Clip Studio, and Clip Studio is behind a paywall, but it's a one-time purchase and you can have it forever. IBS is free, so choose whichever. I'll be drawing Shadow for this tutorial because I just like to draw him a lot. He's probably one of the Sonic characters that can just draw from memory. Before you start, gather at least 2 or 3 references to make it easier to draw a character. I like to draw my characters before I draw them. I like to draw at least 2 or at least get 2 or 3 references to make sure I'll be able to draw them better, especially depending on what art style you're doing. And now, drawing the art style, you want to sketch of the character, but the sketches for the characters are usually done in different ways. What I mean is that how you should draw the character. The characters are you should draw them in a lengthy way. The characters are much more taller in this art style than they are in the adventure art style with noodle arms. They usually don't do that many dynamic poses. Most are standing instead of vibrant colors or saturated colors, and it's special shading in the back of you can see from this image right here. The art is always going to be doing a lot for the poses. At least they usually stand for an idle pose or just do something with their legs or hands. Now let's start drawing. So when you start sketching out your thing, make sure to have your references on the side or at least in the margin where you can have it in any art program. If it's IBS, you put it on your screen. It's Clip Studio as well, or in the margin for Clip Studio. When drawing Shadow for me, I like to start with his head or body because it's the most easiest for me since it's circles. His legs usually go down for any character, for at least if you're doing Sonic, Jet, or Shadow. The legs will start thin, then go down a bit wide and thin at the bottom, which is how they usually are when we're drawing the feet. I sketch out really rough because you'll want to at least sketching. It doesn't really matter if you sketch rough or thin because it's just a sketch. I sketch rough because that's just how I draw. I wanted to do a cool pose with him holding his shades or whatever it's on his head is just shades that they don't use, and he wears I did those that he wears in a writer's game. The feet are going to be at least ovals. The feet are going to be at least a long oval shape. One is going to be facing sideways, one is going to be facing forward from that perspective, or whatever you do. Amy, hers is bent over. Rouge is basically perspective. Knuckles and Tails as well. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever. As you can see from I I tried drawing like one pose, but then like later, as you'll see on, I'll change the pose because I didn't like how it was doing. Make sure your sketch is. I know it said sketch. It doesn't matter if sketch rough, but make sure it's clean enough to do. So when you do line art. Okay, so now you should be done with the sketch. Let's move on to the line art. Now we're going to the line art section. In this section, you'll have to pay attention to how you draw the line art because it has to be really good, or at least in thin enough for you when you do the coloring. It won't mess up. So now, for the line art, use a pencil again. For me, I draw with a pen. I draw using a pencil just because the original art style that Hideaki Mirai does, it's all in pencil. Some people do with a pen or any other brush. I prefer to use pencil because that's how it's really done. Now, when drawing, I was drawing in a vectors program, which for Clip Studio, which if you draw with the certain pen, the vector program will allow you to erase it instantly if it's overlapping with a line. If you're not drawing in vectors, don't worry about it, it doesn't matter. Now, for example, if you're drawing a character who already has official writer's art of them, draw them exactly how they are. You can't be proportionate with them. If you're drawing a character that doesn't have an art style, that isn't an art style, then just try to do your best with it. When I did that writer's video, it's almost done. I just gotta edit the video. All the art styles are done for the characters. When that comes out, I made about 11 characters in the art style. So when it comes out, you'll be able to see. And now for the line art, make sure it's straight. Make sure it's not nothing's going out of place. You gotta make sure it's really good. And make sure to draw out where you can put the shading next, because now we're going to go into the shading, which is going to be the hard part, so make sure to listen up. Now the shading, the hard part. Now for me, I color my parts for the shading with a color that's supposed to be a darker variant of the main color for the character. I color the parts that I choose of the shading because it works if there is a shadow on the character in any other art, like a drop shadow. Make sure to do it like how it is in there, just because it's for future reference. Do that for only specific parts of when doing the shadow. Like for Amy and Sonic, their shadows will be under their quills. For like Sonic, his shadow is like on the side of his quills. For Amy's, they're like on the back, some on her hand and leg. So like the shading is a bit weird of how it's done. It mostly does like stuff that's in the back, but also does stuff in the front, like the hand. But it doesn't really matter. Like Sonic, Amy's quills, Tails, or Shadow's quills, or Knuckles', it's usually different, so it doesn't really matter. When doing the lines, each line has to be in the same direction. Those lines I'm talking about is the ones that are in the shading, where you can see on Shadow or Sonic right there. There'll be lines inside of the shading, and you have to make them all in the same direction. It's fine if it's a bit messy, it just also has to be really neat too. Each line, it doesn't matter if it's rigid out, you have to at least make it in the same straight line. Now you're done with the shading. Now let's start with the coloring. This coloring is gonna be the easy part. Because of the vectors program, my lines were completely neat, so I was able to draw each color perfectly fine with no lines overlapping each other. Now, for me, I do my flat colors by hand. Most people use the bucket tool, but I think it doesn't really look that good, especially if you're doing this style with a pencil. The pencil will see many spots that aren't colored in, and it just won't look right. So I usually do it by hand. On another layer, I get the line art, put a layer under the line art, and then you color from there. That way the color won't get in the way of the line art, and it'll look much better. In my old video, I didn't do that for the old Riders Art Star video. I didn't do that, so most stuff didn't look right, but I didn't do it in the newest one. Make sure to gather, when you're doing colors, make sure to get color image reference of the character, go on another layer, get each color down on that layer, that way it won't be hard to get the colors. You want to make sure you have at least every single color that's there for like the character, every single, even if it's hard to get. Like if you're doing let's say Jet, you want to get each color he has, his flat color, his highlight color, and his dark color, and his darker color. That will be for the outline that I'll get into later. You want to go for every single part of their shoes, the gloves, and the eyes, and the skin color. Once you're done with that, you want to start on the highlights. The highlights are going to be on like the edge of the characters. For like Sonic or Shadow, your highlights will be on the edge of their quills. Each character's highlights will usually be on the edge of the character, especially for white. The white, how it works, you'll have like a grayish white, and then the highlights will just be plain white, so just to not get confused. Now, once you're done with the highlights, you're going to go into the edge, like the outline of the thing, with the thing. Then the outline, at least. The line art for the outline, it has to be darker for the darker than the main color. Like if it's Sonic, his outline is gonna be a dark blue, Amy a dark pink, and but for some characters, say for Rouge or Eggman, for Rouge her outline is purple because since her main color is white, it wouldn't really make sense to make it that, so it has to be like another color that's on the character. Or for Eggman, it will be like dark red or brown for the thing. Now you should be done with the thing. All you have to do is make the outline that has to be perfectly neat. It can be a bit rough but really neat. Now you're done. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you guys. Again, if you don't want to draw yourself, or like you don't have any programs like a device for it, it doesn't really matter what program you use. IBS or Clip Studio is fine. You can't get Clip Studio. IBS is free. Clip Studios are on a paywall, but it's a one-time purchase. Or if you don't want to draw at all, again, I'm doing commissions on my Twitter. The max price is $20 to get the whole thing. If interested, I'm doing the Riders art tutorial and like other mini art tutorials. I'll be adding more because they stay open for now. So if you want one, come get one on my Twitter. Just make sure to DM me, and see you in the next one. Hope this was helpful. If you want me to see your art, I would like to see your art. You can send me it on Twitter, or you can just like you can just do it on Twitter really, or you can put in my email on this email to like email me the art you did. Yeah, I like to see it. So hope this tutorial was helpful. I'll be making sure to make some more. The next one's probably going to be the battle or the adventure art style, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.